Evening, guys. Once again, welcome to the NUFC match review from Marty Magpie. How are you all doing this evening? Yeah, I've just finished with the game, and I'll be honest with you tonight, guys. I listened to it, watched it as well, had a good view of it all round. And, from what I can see tonight, this team, it's, I was a bit, forward coming last week, saying, the manager, we need a change in the manager. We need players shipped out and stuff like that. And I still believe that, a change in players could be the way forward. However, changing the manager, again, that's going to be something that needs to be discussed, because if they are going to make a change, the Newcastle hierarchy, they need to do it now. But from what I've seen tonight between these two teams, it's taken this game tonight, in my opinion, looking at Aston Villa, look, not just the players that they've got. They've got some good players out there. They've got Ollie Watkins, they've got Ross Barkley, they've got Jack Grealish. They've got some great lads, some great players in that team. And, they really, really give it a go tonight. But watching the game, you're seeing the confidence in the players. You're seeing the determination from the Villa players. They had the determination to get forward. They had the belief that they could get forward. But Newcastle, they didn't have that in the first half. But yet again, in our defence, no pun intended, in the squad selection, you look at the team that he started with, again, right? Where's Matt Ritchie? Where is Matt Ritchie? Dwight Gale came on towards the end of the game. Fantastic overhead kick. Sadly, it didn't end up in the net, but I don't think it would have changed much. Alan St-Maximin just come back from a layoff with COVID. He looked great tonight when he came on. But again, I'm not the manager, but I would have been tempted to put him out there, to give him a go and say, right, go on, son, get out there, have a go. Same with Ryan Fraser, because he brought them two on towards the end of the game. And yes, we were getting forward, we were asking questions of Villa, but we were only doing that. And no disrespect to Ryan Fraser or Alan St-Maximin, because they played well when they come onto the field. They really did give it a go. But it's a case of, closing the stable door after the horse is bolted, so to speak. You've got players like that on the bench. Dwight Gale as well. And I've got nothing against playing Andy Carroll and I nearly said Steve Bruce there. Callum Wilson and Andy Carroll together. I've got no... Excuse me, guys. Do you mind if I just have a slurp? Excuse me. I've got nothing against them two playing together. They're both, really good players, target men. But yet again, we didn't see any real ammunition going forward until the last, say, 15 minutes. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but that for me is, it seems to me like Steve Bruce is, it seems to me like he's reading the instructions back to front. They're not getting going first half. They're conceding goals, and then he's thinking, oh, do you know what? Oh, better get stuck in here. Better get players out there because we're behind. Well, all right, we haven't got the sort of players that can bomb forward and stuff like that. So we say. But what I seen tonight, when Maxie come on and when Ryan Fraser come on, it was fresh legs. And yes, Villa were tiring because they've played 2 games in the space of 5 days. They played Man City the other day. They were unlucky. And they were starting to tire. I mean, yeah, I mean, these guys are athletes. But come on, we're only human at the end of the day, aren't we? But you look at them Villa players, though. I mean, the way they got forward, the possession, the movement on the field, everything was about confidence with them. You know, and I mean, you could say that, well, all we need is a win and the confidence will come back. Well, it doesn't work like that, because we've been in this situation many times before, you know, where we've gone like 2 or 3 games where we've lost 2, drew 1, and then we've won. And we've picked it up and everybody's, oh, brilliant, you know, fantastic. Start watching Match of the Day again, you know. And then the next week we go out and we get absolutely hammered. You know, and that just shows, you know, that confidence, it can be up one week and down the next. And what we need is a consistent flow of it. Now, I mean, my personal opinion, I mean, like I say, I'm no football manager. I don't know. I mean, Steve Bruce must have something that I haven't got, ladies and gentlemen, because, you know, he's where he is and I'm sat here talking to you guys, which I love doing. But I'm not Newcastle United manager. Do you know? I mean, if it was up to me, I mean, if you want my team, which I would pick, you know, here and now, you know, I'll give it to you. You know, I think Carl Darlow in goal, I think you've got to keep him there. On the right back position, you've got to play Yedlin. All right. You know, there was some criticism of him this week from some fans, and obviously Supermac had his say, you know, that he should be out this summer. You see, I don't think so. Emmanuel Kraft, fair enough. But DeAndre Yedlin is a great player. Central defence, Kieran Clark, who was carrying a knock tonight, which would have been nice for him to face his old club. He couldn't get into the team, but I think Kieran Clark and Federico Fernandez, again, them two, they go together, you know, like bread and butter. They really are fantastic together. But neither of them played together tonight. The other two go together like, I don't know what your tastes are like out there, guys, but they go together like peanut butter and cheese, quite honestly. Not a very nice combination. So, yeah, so Kieran Clark and Federico Fernandez across the centre-backs. Left back, definitely Paul Dummett. You know, you've got to put him in there. If he's fit, put him in. You know, you've got to. If you can't, then we're in a bit of a situation. But I think Paul Dummett. Right-hand side of midfield. Again, I think you've got to play. Ryan Fraser played well tonight when he came on. But I think there's only one man down there when he's fit, is Matt Ritchie. I cannot understand Steve Bruce, why he's not playing Matt Ritchie in that team, because he's a natural winger. He gets the ball down the wing and he's actually looking into the box all the time. And sadly this season, sometimes the players haven't been bombing forward when Joe Linton's been going in there. You know, Joe Linton, the treadmill man, we talked about him last week. Yeah, he's useless, isn't he? He's bloody useless. But Matt Ritchie gets down the wing. He gets the ball in. He looks for players in the middle. You know, he's like Terry Hibbert. He gets down the wing and he's actually looking all the time. And Stuart Barraclough as well. You know, them two, when they were playing for Newcastle, used to get down the wings. They were always looking for Supermac, John Tudor, Alan Gowland when he came in the middle. They were always looking for them players to whip the ball in. And Supermac would be there to knock it in. Tudor would be there. Gowland would be there to knock it in. And that's what we're looking for, you know. Natural wingers. But Matt Ritchie's not getting a look in. On the right-hand side of midfield, he's not getting a look in. In the centre, I think you've got to go with Isaac Hayden, because he's a powerhouse. He can hold the midfield together. But again, he can't do it on his own. And that's why I think next to him, you need somebody energetic, loves getting forward, but at the same time likes to defend as well. And I think you've got Matty Longstaff there in that position. But again, Matty Longstaff just signed a contract last year, mind you, ladies and gentlemen. Just signed a new contract last year. They were going to let him go for like £500,000 to a team. And they're like, whoa, let's keep him in. Well, play him then, Steve. Play the guy. That's what I'm asking. Play him. Because that is what it's all about. Matty Longstaff on the left. I think Maxi, now he's fit, you've got to put him in there. because he's not only can he cross the ball, he can actually cut in, and players, they will go to him. Defenders will go to him. They'll look to play the ball away from him. And that allows the likes of Wilson, the likes of Cowell, and whoever's up front, I'll come to that in a minute, to get into space and really push on and try and get a goal. Because that's what used to happen when Newcastle, when we had Alan Shearer and Craig Bellamy up front. You know, Craig Bellamy used to do a lot of the running. You know, and I know that because I used to go and watch the games at St James's as a season ticket holder. Craig Bellamy would be away. Honestly, he'd be off like a rat up a drain pipe after the ball. And he'd be running with the ball, lightning pace. Defenders would be thinking, oh, bloody hell, we better get after this kid, he's fast. And Alan Shearer just peels off in the middle. All right, passes it out to Dyer. Dyer whips it in. Shearer, bang, 1-0, get in there, fantastic. I mean, Alan Shearer was a dangerous player, but defenders didn't think, well, he's not going to get anywhere. Oh, no, we're used to score. So Maxie definitely takes the heat off the strikers. He's got good pace, he's got good skill. Got to be in the team. And then we come to the front two, which in my opinion has to be Callum Wilson, has to be up front. He has to be in the squad because he's a great player. He's a top striker. And he gets in positions, and 9 times out of 10, you know, the dead ball situations, they're just not coming in. You know, tonight, a couple of times, the ball came down the wing. And there's no, but you know, Wilson's got his hand up in the box. Play it in, Cowell as well. And they don't play it. Come on. He's in black and white. He's got the same colour top on as me, guys. He knows that you get the ball in. He's not playing. Well, obviously we weren't playing in black and white then, but you know what I mean. We were playing in the black away shirts. But he wasn't wearing red and like claret and blue, was he? He wasn't wearing them colours. He wasn't wearing Villa colours. Could have been. Thank goodness he wasn't. Thank goodness he didn't go there. Maybe he's thinking he should have done by now. But anyway, getting back to Wilson, he's a good player. You play the ball into Callum Wilson, you get it to his feet, you get it on his head, he will try his best to score. If he doesn't, fair enough. But at least he's had a go. Callum Wilson definitely in. And then I may get some criticism for this one, but I thought tonight he came on too late. And that was Dwight Gale. Now, Dwight Gale, he came on against West Brom. He scored a goal. You know, he was on a few minutes. He scored a goal. I mean, I don't see the problem here. I mean, Dwight Gale, he will get you a goal. All right, he might take him a while to get going, but when he gets in there, he is dangerous. And defenders don't like him because, again, he's quick and he can latch onto something and he will get in there, given a chance. Dwight Gale will score goals. There you go, that's my team now. And I know what a few of you are going to be thinking tonight. They're going to be thinking, what about Andy Cowell? What about Andy Cowell, Martin? Well, why not, Marty? Why not Andy Cowell? I'll be getting comments underneath, no doubt. And, of course, tonight, please subscribe to the channel. I'd love to hear from you again. I'd love to hear your comments. But I know people will say tonight, Marty, why are you not picking Andy Cowell there? Well, I'm going to tell you. I've been around the houses there, but I'm going to tell you, okay? In my opinion, Andy Cowell lost his ability to play. What the hell's that? Oh, it's the cat. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's the cat just coming in there. Black and white cat, very appropriate. Dear me. Postman's Pat's looking for him. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, Andy Cowell. In my opinion, Andy Cowell was playing his best football for Newcastle United when he was there the first time. Yeah, he was playing great in the Championship. He came in towards the end of the 2009 season, scored a goal at Stoke, and everybody thought, oh, this kid's good. He tormented the life out of West Brom that season, but again, he couldn't keep us up. In the Championship, he was great. When he came up into the Premier League, he was scoring goals. He was an exciting striker. He was playing his football, playing the game of his life. And then came that, that fateful day in 2011 when Newcastle United started to get bids from Liverpool. Okay? And I know what you're going to say. Mike Ashley accepted the bid of £35 million. right? But we're going to come to that, okay? Yeah, £35 million, that was a good bit of business for Mike Ashley, because Andy Carroll, after he went to Liverpool, was never the same player, and he's not the same player now. But when Andy Carroll, that particular day, right, I watched Transfer Deadline Day all the way through, watched it, right? Always did, back then. And Newcastle received a bid from Liverpool for £25 million. £25 million, and Newcastle said, get stuffed. No chance. They received a bid then of £30 million. Newcastle said, no, we're not selling him. We don't want to sell him. He's a good player. We don't want to sell him. The bid came in, £35 million. Newcastle said, no, we don't want to sell him. End of. Andy Carroll went and seen Alan Pardew and said to him, excuse me, gaffer. Oh, bloody hell, sorry guys. Bloody camera's falling down. I'm banging on the side of the table. Andy Carroll went to him, Alan Pardew, and said, there you go, gaffer. There's a transfer request. I want to go to Liverpool. I want to go to Liverpool. He handed in a transfer request because he wanted to go to Liverpool. Right? Went to Liverpool. Didn't get the rub of the green there. Went to West Ham. Spent most of his life on a physio's table. I mean, if he got bloody points for being on the physio's table, West Ham would have won the league. They would have won the Champions League because he was never off the bugger. And then West Ham got sick of him and they says, do you know, sod him. Newcastle come in. Oh, great. Coming back, Andy Carroll. I was one of these guys who was chuffed. I thought Andy Carroll's coming back. But he scored one goal, guys. One league goal. He's been here nearly 2 years. He scored one league goal. And it's not like he hasn't been unfit. But I just think Andy Carroll, I think his best days are behind him. I hope I'm wrong. But I don't think I am wrong, because at the end of the day, Andy Carroll decided to leave Newcastle to try and go to Liverpool and win things. And I know what you're saying. Well, you know, you get the opportunity to go to somewhere big, you do it. Not me. I wouldn't do it, because if I thought I was getting regular football somewhere, you don't want to go and be a bench boy, fair enough. But, dear me, it's not all about money, in my opinion. And I just think, you know, that's the way it is. But, I mean, that's my 11, what I've just given you there. Sorry, I rambled on a bit about Andy Carroll. But what I think Steve Bruce needs to do, if he wants to keep his job at Newcastle United, he needs to get a settled 11. Okay? I mean, that 11 what I put out there tonight, I mean, Steve, if you're watching, dear me, you don't have to take any notice of me. I'm sure you're not watching. But if you are, you know, fair enough, you don't have to take it on board. But that's the 11 I would go with. If they were fit, that's the ones I would go with. Because you've got to have a settled 11. You can't keep chopping and changing. In the last couple of games, we played 19 players. Excuse me. 19 players. Come on. You know, you can't do that in the Premier League. You can do that maybe in the lower leagues. You can certainly do it in the bloody Sunday League, because sometimes you have to. But come on. You cannot be doing that, man. We're 7 points above the drop zone. 7 points, guys. And them teams below us, yeah, they're bloody bad teams. But they're going to start getting results. I mean, Burnley, you look at them, the start they made. But then they've come through it. They've got a shock win at Liverpool. But don't get me started on them buggers. They want the manager sacked when they're fourth in the league. So, where do you go? I mean, do I think, you know, Steve Bruce should be sacked? Well, after tonight's defeat, yeah, I do, honestly. But at the end of the day, will it do any good? Who knows? Because we've been there before where managers have, you know, have gone. I mean, look at Joe Kinnear back in 2009. I still believe if Joe Kinnear hadn't had a heart attack, we wouldn't have went down, because Joe would have kept us up. by hook or by crook, he would have kept us up. And we brought Alan Shearer in, and Alan Shearer tried his best, but you know, it's like the saying goes, you know, you can't make a mink coat with a cage full of hamsters, so to speak. And that is exactly it. You know, you can't do it, man. And you know, we've tried quick fixes, but what I say is to Mike Ashley or whoever, you know, Newcastle United's hierarchy, if they want to get rid of Steve Bruce and bring somebody in, they need to do it now, because they cannot be doing what they did the last time and wait and wait and wait and wait until the last, I think it was 10 or 12 games of the season when Steve McClaren was sacked and they brought Rafa Benitez in and then said to him, right, keep us up. Because Rafa tried his best, but he couldn't do it, you know, because they weren't his players. You know, they didn't like his style of play. I don't know, but we couldn't do it. And in terms of Rafa leaving his club today, the news broke. And everybody's like, oh, you know, Rafa Benitez could be coming back. I don't think he will. And I'll tell you something. Rafa Benitez will not come back to this club. He will not come back to this club until Mike Ashley has either got this club, either got through the courts and won his court case against the Premier League to get the Saudis in, to take over the club, or if he loses it, sell it to somebody else and then goes. That's the only way Rafa Benitez will come back, because there's no way he's going to come back into this club and work under him again. You know, because the first thing Rafa will say is, right, you're going, you're going, you're going. He'll say to Joe Linton, hey, you're going in this window. I'm releasing you. Because he didn't want him, you know. And that's something I never understood about when he brought Joe Linton in. You know, £40 million Mike Ashley paid for Joe Linton. He could have had Solomon Rondon for 11 million, for God's sake. And Rafa Benitez said that to him, come on, I want Solomon Rondon. Nah, I didn't want him. We want Joe Linton. I'll pay 40 million quid for him. And Rafa Benitez said, hey, pal, I don't want him. I don't want him. He's not my type of player. Well, tough, that's what you're getting, because I'm in charge. Rafa Benitez said, hey, I'll tell you bloody what, lad, I'm not having this. And that's the way it is, in my opinion. So, things need to improve. Confidence, hopefully, in the next 2 games at home, it will return. Hopefully we can nick a win in them 2 games. We need a settled 11. And we need to be playing players like Maxi, Ryan Fraser, possibly. Richie, definitely. He's a must. And if Paul Dummett, Kieran Clark, and Federico Fernandez are fit, you've got to put them in. You need a settled 11, Steve. If we're going to ride this out, it needs to be done. Okay, guys. Well, that's all I've got time for tonight. But like I say, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all next time. Good night, guys. All the best. Cheers.